You want to make more money in your wedding photography business, and you already know that photographers selling albums can be making an extra 6 figures per year. But what you might not know is there is a trick to doing this. It's 3 steps, and it starts where you might not expect. I also personally did this completely wrong for years, and it's actually what burned me out of selling albums, and I took them out of my packages, leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. More on that in a minute. In this video, I'm also going to show you how to design an album from start to finish in Fundy Designer, and thank you to Fundy for sponsoring this video. But first, your money. The basics. Would you like to make an extra $1,000 or $3,000 per wedding and do it in a non-scammy way that isn't going to churn your couples to go to another photographer in the future? If you answered yes, then stay with me. This process starts really early in your client's journey with you. If you bring this on as a surprise after the wedding, you are going to make a lot of very happy clients into angry clients pretty quickly. So the basics of all of this is a pre-design and an optional upsell for albums. You are including a 30-page wedding album with their package, but most couples will end up upgrading them. If your couple goes from 30 pages to 60 pages and you're charging $50 per page or $100 for a 2-page spread, that means you're making an extra $1,500 pretty easily. We'll also talk about a strategy to accelerate this even more in a minute. This doesn't only work for weddings, but also for portrait sessions, for family sessions, seniors, and a lot more. But let's talk about weddings first and where it all starts. It does not start after the wedding. If you start this after the wedding, unfortunately, you will fail. It starts on your website before the couple has ever contacted you. Step 1 is pretty simple. It's to have pictures of albums on your websites. I should also mention that like everything in the wedding space, this isn't going to instantly make you $100,000. Changes you make today start really taking effect 1 or 2 or 3 years down the road. And the other fortunate thing is that this builds and becomes easier over time as well. Plus the actual design process is easier than ever. Stay tuned for that. So you have albums and printed products on your website. Simple enough, right? You probably already do. One other recommendation is to start featuring product on social media a lot more often, that rather than just a carousel of straight images, maybe you're in Fundy and you're making some room layouts with your images that also promote print. And what you're doing here is you're tweaking your ideal customer profile, the customer that you want to attract, to be someone that is more attracted to physical prints and someone that appreciates and wants them. Or in a sense, you're kind of conditioning your current ideal customer that couples that hire me, this is what they want, and they want physical products. As you know, suggestive selling is massive in weddings. It is likely their first time planning a wedding, and maybe they've been in some friends' weddings, but they really have no idea what they're doing. You are the expert, and they will listen to you. As an example of this, if you've ever put this simple sentence into an email, you know how well it works. And that sentence is, here's a link to my pricing, and most people go with package number 2. You can also modify this to be like most people go with package number 2 if they're getting married at whatever wedding venue they're getting married at. And saying that alone will increase conversion rates, as well as have 80% or higher of couples booking that specific package. So the first part of this is the basic suggestive visual sale, that there are albums on your website. People that like your photography buy albums. This also elevates your image as a photographer. Other photographers are just shooting for Instagram, and you're shooting for something that they can physically touch and feel. Actually, let's reverse this. We're gonna go to step 0. It's actually a mindset shift for us as photographers. The idea is to not treat albums and prints as an upsale, but to really make them part of your story. You're not selling a product, you are giving your couple a legacy product, something that is going to be passed down from generation to generation, and something that gets even more valuable with time. All right, back to the schedule here. Step 2, packages. Add an album to your middle tier packages, something small, even an 8x8 20-page book. In the package description, mention that most couples end up upgrading to a 10x10 40-page book, and put the cost per page as an optional upgrade. Depending on who you're using for your albums, there are likely going to be color upgrades. One other upgrade that I see a lot is parent albums. My top package used to include a 10x10 album for the couple, as well as 2 8x8 duplicate albums for each side of the family. And this is important. It's important to be clear in the package description, as well as in the meeting, to describe that these are duplicate parent books, that I'm not going to be designing 3 full albums. When you do that and you're communicating with 3 different people and you're doing it all internally, it gets really messy. But that said, with something like Fundy Designer, it does make it really easy to do multiple designs, as well as get comments for any changes. So now, you can see the money coming in. If a couple upgrades from their 20-page 8x8 into a 50-page 10x10 and adds 2 parent books, maybe you're even doubling the cost of that original wedding sale. So rather than going through the entire process of booking another whole wedding and shooting the day, finding a second photographer, editing the day, and delivering, you're making that same income off of a wedding that you've already shot. I'll let you sort your pricing out for yourself, but I usually do 3 or 4 times my physical unit cost for products. Oh, and if you want to get into the luxury space, I feel like albums really are one of the keys. And an interesting side note about luxury weddings here, I find that a lot of my luxury weddings, a parent is either my key contact or they're heavily involved and on phone calls in the wedding planning process. And they're usually looking for a parent book before the couple is actually even looking for a book. So the sale actually starts with the parent book. So if you have parent books in your packages, all of a sudden you're going to be even more attracted to that parent that's helping their kid plan their wedding. So this all sounds pretty nice, right? In the first meeting, another key of step 2 is to again mention that most couples do end up upgrading to a 10x10 or 12x12 book with 50 or 60 pages. And this means from a photography standpoint, you also have to shoot a really good day with a lot of work that should be included in the album. An optional side quest here could be to offer an advanced upgrade deal that if they want to lock in that upgrade before the wedding, they save money, or maybe they get a free upgrade from a 10x10 book to a 12x12 for confirming the upgrade early. In this case, I usually stick my design to the pages that they've already booked and I don't try to upsell them from there, but it wouldn't be unreasonable to do a slightly larger design if it fits the day. Now you have couples coming in, they know other couples buy books from you, so they're already sold. You've mentioned that most couples upgrade at the first meeting and now it's time to go shoot the wedding. I'm not gonna tell you how to do that one, but if you do wanna see some behind the scenes, I got 80 full-length wedding days up here on YouTube. Now, step 3, designing. Mistake I made here, I asked them for selects. Don't ask them for selects, you're the professional. You make the selections and lay out the album in the way that you think that the story best fits. You can make your selects and do an auto build in Fundy Designer version 11, plug in the 80 or 120 images that you want to include or less or more and hit auto build. With Fundy version 11, you also get this awesome preset option. So if you are designing 60-page 10x10 books from Graphy Studio for your couples, you can have that preset set up and ready to go. Fundy Designer goes through and makes pages based on a lot of parameters like time of the day as well as the scenes. You can also easily swap any of the images or change the layouts if you want. Plus, in your preset, you can also do some bonuses like wall art and thank you cards. Pretty much every couple is going to be buying or making thank you cards somewhere to send to their guests. So make it easy for them and they're going to be happy to pay for a premium of that service just to have it done. Wall art will be a topic for another video, but it's possible to include prints in your packages as well, especially if you're doing family or portrait or senior sessions. Then you can include optional upsales similar to albums where you go up in size or go into a different material like a canvas print. So you've designed your album. You can build a slideshow in Fundy Designer, and now you have a few options. Option number 1 is that you can use this as a full gallery reveal. You schedule a Zoom call, or better yet, an in-person meeting, and then you just press play on the auto-made Fundy slideshow. If it's the first way they're experiencing their wedding photos and you've done a good job with the photography as well as the story, you're going to find that couples don't really make a whole lot of changes to this book that you've laid out for them. Of course, if they haven't pre-upgraded, they're always welcome to go back down to the original album size in their package, but they're gonna have a very difficult time cutting spreads and photos. Well, yes, you are making more money. I think it's important to frame it to yourself that you are making a product that is going to last generations, something that's not disposable and it's not going to last a few months or a year. It is an important piece of their life journey, something that includes all their friends and family, and it's something really special. You can also talk in that meeting about wall art and thank you card upgrades. If you are doing an in-person meeting, most companies will actually send you swatch samples of all the fabrics they have. I like to limit choices to something reasonable. This goes with other options as well, like embossing or pre-cutouts of images on the front covers. If you pre-curate all these options, your couples are not going to fall into the paralysis of we don't know what to do, that you can just guide them through the process. And again, this is what most people do, and they're gonna be happy. Oh, and I said I designed an album here in Fundy Designer 11, and honestly, it's so easy. You drag the photos you want into the album, you select the type of product you want, or you use a preset you've built, and then you hit the auto build button. Then you go through and you tweak some crops, swap images or layouts, but honestly, it gets it pretty good with almost no changes. It's not unreasonable to be able to start and finalize an album in 5 to 10 minutes total. Now back to me talking on camera. There is also something to be said that if they don't get you to make this album, there is a very limited chance that they're ever going to do this on their own. It's such an overwhelming task to make your own wedding album, and you as a photographer are the pro and you're going to do the best job at it. My packages are personally made where they get full print rights to the entire gallery, so they can actually make their own albums if they want. But again, most of my couples just never get around to it. It's one of those tasks that keeps getting pushed because it's such a scary unknown. This is absolutely something you can mention to your couples on that first call so that they just trust you as the pro. Whether they have the full print rights or not, the next step in the process is to give them access to the gallery to make sure that all the important images are included. Typically, if you did a good job with the family photo selects, there's going to be pretty limited changes. Now, if I did not want to schedule a call and go through their album together, you can also do this over email. It is less effective, but you still will generate more revenue if you've set everything up correctly. If you have the time, a call or an in-person meeting is the way to go. So there you go. Easy. Start the sale before the couple ever contacts you. Let them know what most couples do. Design an album with the auto build in Fundy and based on the preset that you've built. Then show it off in person or over a Zoom call with one of the automated Fundy slideshows. Start making more money, and now you can afford to buy Arby's for lunch every day. Probably don't do that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time. And if you do want to see a more in-depth walkthrough of building an album in Fundy, there's a video floating on the screen right here.